Hi lovelies, and welcome back. I used to always make videos just with voice recordings when I was posting more frequently, and then suddenly I stopped. I felt like I always had to be posting video speaking, but I realized that sometimes it's better to post more and be more lighthearted with it and have more fun. And I think a good way for me to do that is getting back into posting these lighthearted just voice recording videos. I'm currently in between classes, in between courses, and I'm basically just sitting in my car for the next 2 hours on the street. I thought about filming one of those videos like in my car. A lot of people do that, right? Just videos of them in their car, but I don't know, I kind of like when it's just a colorful video with a little bit of audio. You guys tell me if you guys prefer it to see my face or if you guys don't mind. In a very transitional period of my videos, so I'm just going with the flow and I'm open to any suggestion. And today what I want to talk about is life pulse and kind of like life, like vital life energy and the will to live and to prosper and to thrive, and the opposite energy that is like the death pulse. I had Googled what the proper translation for this was, but I think kind of just more of like that lackluster, lacking vitality, and things that we do that are directly correlating to the energy of, it seems kind of drastic to say death, kind of like, wait, 1 second, let me just figure this out. I almost said calma, that is in Portuguese, like, wait, but let me see if I have it Googled. Okay, it's gonna take too long, and I'm not planning on editing this video, so I guess you guys are understanding where I'm coming from, right? Like, one thing is like the things that we do that make life pulse inside of us, like go on a walk, exercise, eat healthy, meditate, bask in the sun, go into the ocean, things that really vitalize us and propel us to live in a more beautiful and transcendent way. And the other energy would be not eating, sleeping too much, drinking or eating stuff that is not good for us, smoking, doing things that correlate to our energy of death, for lack of a better word. I was trying to not say death, but I guess sometimes it just has to be said. It is what it is, right? I went on a course. This was one of my crazier moments. My mom thinks I'm crazy for this till this day, probably, because she always mentions it, and she's like, I can't believe that you did that. I went to spiritual retreat, and I had previously gone to that same spiritual retreat the year before. And I saw this guy for like 3 days, and somehow something inside of me sparked, and my kundalini awakened, and I thought I had fallen in love with him. I spent the next year waiting for the next course, kind of daydreaming that when I arrived there, he was also going to feel like the same connection and he was going to propose. That sounds so delusionally crazy, and now I can see it for what it is. But at the time, it kind of just felt like a healthy princess fairy tale delusion. But I realized that I think my kundalini was unawakened and my energies weren't really flowing. So when I felt something for him, it awakened a passion. It's kind of like when you have sex for the first time. You kind of associate sex with the person that you had it with, even if it's like a random sexual encounter or just your first boyfriend. Sex in its totality has nothing to do with that person, right? But because your first experience was with that specific person, it's the only thing that you can correlate it with. And I think that's what happened to me with this guy. And I went on that retreat with a few friends. We weren't that friends, but we had a little bit of a connection, and we really furthered that bond. Guys, I'm not gonna edit this, so you guys are gonna have to have patience with me when I stutter. I'm sorry, sometimes I have like a really clear speech, but today I'm kind of all over the place, and I guess that's okay too. And I went on that retreat with one of my friends that wasn't really my friend at the time, but further went to become my friend. And she was a psicanalista. And she told me the concepts of what I'm talking about now in this video. And I thought it was very interesting. And when I got there to the spiritual retreat and I realized that the guy that I had been falling in love with for the past year, oh my god, wasn't there, it sent me into a spiral of like profound, a little bit of sadness and confusion and like what was I thinking, and just overall not feeling my best. And the next day at breakfast, I couldn't eat, and I just stayed there crying. And I think I cried for the whole hour of breakfast. This sounds so insane, but I have to share it, to just explain it a little bit. Maybe just to get it off my chest. So sometimes we do enter moments of delusion, and it's okay. It happens to the best of us. I think the best thing to note in these occasions is that next time you'll do better. Next time the delusion will last longer, and you'll have a more cohesive vision of what happened, hopefully. And the rest is history, I guess. The guy that I'm talking about in this video further went to like some of my Instagram posts, and we did have kind of like a flirty thing going on. So I didn't like it didn't come out of nowhere. I think it like makes my desire to connect with someone with my Kundalini awakening, and the fact that he was right there in front of me and the fact that I didn't want to get my heart broken, so I really wanted to fall in love with the next person and that be my forever person. Guys, now I'm feeling much more at peace. I closed my car windows. I know that I'm not supposed to be in here like this, just with everything closed for my breathing, but the children screaming outside and the guys from the construction really were messing with my flow. But yeah, what was I saying? So now I can rationalize it and properly understand it. But at the time, it was very confusing. And then I sat there crying, and I didn't want to eat. It was kind of like a sign of rebellion. And I turned to my friend, and I was like, this is like death pulse, isn't it? And she was like, yeah, that's exactly what I was explaining to you. You feel sadness for something that was bringing you like the will to live in a way was taken from you, and you're rebelling against life in a way of not eating. And on these retreats, like, you have to eat the time that they provide for you because there's no other foods available, and the time, like, you're on a time crunch. There's like a packed schedule, at least the retreats that I went to. So I was basically gonna not be eating for like till the end of the day, till lunch, but lunch was gonna be much later. And I was basically like signing my name on the paper and saying like, I'm gonna be hungry, but I'm gonna be hungry on purpose because I'm rebelling against my own life. Sorry guys, I'm really distracted with everything around me. I don't know if this was like the best idea. Maybe I should have filmed myself. Who knows? I'm stuck in this car for a while. Maybe I will film myself. But I think it's just interesting. What I wanted to propose is a little bit of a reflection of what are the things that you do that pulls life into you, whether that be waking up early, drinking a lot of water, eating healthy, exercising, gathering new knowledge, meeting up with friends that really invoke that beautiful sense of vitality and joy to live. And what are the things that you do in your daily routine that go against the currents of a healthy and vital life source? Things that bring you down. And why do you do those things? Why do those things... What? Guys, just because I'm not gonna edit this, I feel like I'm losing my mind. But what are the things that you do that go against your life source and that bring you down, and why are you doing them? Like in my example, I was not eating as a rebellion of my life not being exactly the way I wanted. There's a lot of people that say that people that work 9 to 5s or have really stressful jobs and want to numb out their reality take on drinking as a source of relief and as a source of joy. But drinking can be good for your mental state in a moment of release and connection with your friends, but it's not good for your body, right? So what are the reasons that we engage in those things? And I'm currently on the verge, because I do drink wine and Aperol, and I go out with my friends, and I drink sometimes, but I'm really trying to cut back and do it on very special occasions, because I don't want to run from myself, and I want to... Okay, I have previously stopped drinking, and I realized that I found so much more actual pure joy in the things that I was doing when I was not drinking, because I actually did things that I was going to enjoy sober. I connected with people that brought me joy sober, and it brought a new perspective to my outings and the things that I actually wanted to do and the people that I actually wanted to connect with and the reasons behind why I was drinking. Because drinking can be fun at the moment, but later when you wake up and you're hungover and you're not feeling your best, and when you go to sleep and you're feeling a little uneasy, it's not healthy, right? So sometimes we just have to reflect why we do these things that aren't healthy for us, and what is the root cause of that action, and how can we remove it from our life and better our existence as a whole, right? What are the spiritual and energetic reasons for us to take action on things that will prevent our suffering, and how to heal from it? This video has 12 minutes. I feel like it was 7 minutes of me losing my mind and 7 minutes of me talking, but I hope that you guys can enjoy this, and I love you guys. I'll take any suggestions at this point, really. I'm just trying to go with the flow and have fun. But I'm pretty perfectionist, and I do have high expectations for myself, but I think I just have to take myself a little less seriously, a little less seriously, and realize that sometimes it's just okay to be exactly the way that we are and do things exactly the way that we're doing them. I know that we always desire to do our best and to be better, and that's amazing. But sometimes it's just good to stop who we are, and here's what I have to offer today. I always try to really set a beautiful intention of usually I have it sometimes for things that change overall healthy systems and healthiest provide a good and productive trains of thought. But I guess it is what it is. I love you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you enjoyed this truly, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.